Hello, I'm Dr. Sarah Speck, and I'd like to welcome you to our first series of healthy cooking videos sponsored by Swedish Heart and Vascular Institute and the John Locke Jr. Trust. I'll be joined by one of Seattle's top chefs working in a kitchen just like one that you would have in your home.
My mom's a wonderful home chef, and after pursuing a degree in law, I found my way into restaurants and just fell in love. Cafe Juanita, I opened in April 2000. I had worked at the Dahlia Lounge for Tom Douglas for 5 years, and he knew I had a dream to open a restaurant, and it was his very good friend who was selling a business. And he said, I think I know your space. My love is for Northern Italian food, so it's all about the ingredients, and I love to eat as local and seasonal and organic whenever possible. You know, asparagus in season in Seattle tastes better than asparagus flown in from Peru in December. There's no question. I think that we're cooking with local and seasonal ingredients more often, so they're fresher, they taste better, and they're keeping all their vitamins in. And you know, keeping out GMOs and processed foods is a good start, and chefs are at the forefront. So, in your Cuisinart or your food processor, I'm going to take a few cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to help the machine along a little bit by chopping these up. Much of this is to taste, so if what I put in looks crazy to you, don't do quite as much garlic at home. And the interesting thing is that the flavor of the garlic will come out as the chickpea puree sits. This could be done a week in advance in your refrigerator.
Wonderful.
And it's great, you know, on grilled bread, frankly. One of my favorite things. So it's gonna be a little noisy. We're just gonna pulse it a few times. And what I'm trying to do is get that garlic finely minced and incorporated with the chickpeas, and then we'll whisk in some olive oil and lemon.
Great. Now again, if I was doing this on a Saturday afternoon, I didn't have this fresh lemon, but I had one of those lemon juice.
Do they still make those?
They still make those.
Yes.
I could use it, okay.
You certainly could. Even vinegar.
Tell me about that.
You could use champagne vinegar in here, and it would mimic the same thing. Honestly, even if you had an orange in your house. And then the last thing I love, but it's certainly to taste, is a little bit of cayenne pepper. Not very much. So we're just going to finely mince the garlic and add the olives right to it. This is just an easy condiment. I'm going to use some fresh thyme and some fresh marjoram, two of my favorites. Fresh whenever you can get it, but dried will work really well. I would never substitute oregano in here. It's just not the same beast as marjoram. And I even, you can get, so these are Taja olives from Italy, my favorite, but you can also get Niçoise or Kalamata. Hit it in any grocery store. And many grocery stores have these cute little cherry peppers. And I love to add this to my tapenade.
It's a beautiful color.
It's a beautiful color. It's a little bright, perky addition to it. And that's it. So we can pop this in the dish. We're going to add a little bit of lemon zest once it's in the dish using a microplane, which is one of my favorite gadgets. You just want to take just some of the zest, not showing any of the pale white. Okay. So now we can grill the radicchio. I'm going to take off this kind of slightly weathered outside leaf. Radicchio is wonderful raw, but it really benefits from being grilled. We're going to put a little olive oil and salt on it, pop it on the grill, bring it off, take this core off. This is really just keeping it together on the grill, and then dress it with a little vinegar, and we'll have a really lovely salad. And this is you know, I've always heard that bitter greens are very healthy for us, so I feel good about eating my bitter greens. So while this is grilling, it really doesn't need us to babysit it. You know, I'm always going to ask for local lamb wherever I live. And, you know, this has really lovely marbling, not a lot of external fat. And the chops, for me, I like them about 1.5 inches thick, if possible. We're going to actually do 3 chops right here on this one. Nice hot pan. And again, there's not a lot of extra fat. Most of that is going to render off with it being cooked on both sides. So see, I left that root end on, right? Stem end. Just going to cut that off now. It's actually oddly one of my favorite little snacks. The cooks are always eating in the kitchen, you realize.
Absolutely.
Don't you
At
think?
home too.
Exactly. It's the best place. And this is more, one head of radicchio is actually more than 4 people would probably ever be able to consume. So now I think we should plate our dish.
Excellent.
The lamb's finishing on the grill. And actually, this is great. So I was able to turn this grilled plate off so it's kind of mimicking resting a little bit. And when you rest your meat, you're letting all the juices go back out into the meat. The heat's forced it into the center. So you're going to have a juicier, more evenly cooked plate. So we've got our chickpea puree down. We already dressed this radicchio. And then, you know, have fun with it. Make it
Into a little
pretty.
flour.
Little flour.
Very nice.
And a combination of some that are pretty wilted and some that are a little crunchier. I like that texture. It's a big flavor difference too. And then what we can do is, I think everyone in Seattle wants to have a garden. I know,
Absolutely.
you know. And so if you have a garden or you just happen to have some greens in your refrigerator, I think it's great to add it. And I had some arugula, so I thought that it would be nice to add this too. So just a little bit.
Color's great.
I could eat whole bowlfuls of that. So here we have our chops. And I think 2 chops is a generous but nice portion. And a little crisscross, it'll rest right up there. It's not so architectural that you can't eat it.
Beautiful.
And then we have our tapenade. So just sprinkle it over, be as generous as you like. And now we have our finished plate.
It looks wonderful, delicious, attractive. I can't wait to try
Should
it.
we eat it? It better be delicious. I'll take my chop over here. So you're good. I'm kind of a quadrant by quadrant eater.
Ah, that's how my husband eats. My family will think that they've died and gone to heaven. This is just wonderful. Thank you so much.